What is up, everybody? I know I promised you guys that we would do a frog dissection in class, and under the certain circumstances we're going through right now, I'm gonna make that promise happen. Okay, so you can see on your screen I got a couple of different cameras set up. Got this one, you'll see from the side. I got one set up on my actual frog model here, so you can see some of the parts labeled, and then I got the actual dissection pan here. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here is our frog. Let me go ahead and angle this down so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And go ahead, if you guys are joining me live, go ahead and put your name in the chat so I can see who's joining me too. All right, so go ahead and start out. We're going to go ahead and make a quick incision down here along the bottom. And I am no professional at this, by the way. I have done this maybe twice in the last year, and not since high school, so that's about 5 years ago. Sometimes getting this first incision started is hard, but once we get it, we're good. Okay, we're going to make a cut all the way up, and I'm going to cut to the sides just to be able to peel this back. And it's kind of a good thing you guys are not here with me, because if you've ever dissected anything, you'll know that there's a certain smell to it. And yeah, this definitely has that smell. So the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm peeling back what is the skin. All right, so this is his skin. You can see even along his skin, you can see there's some veins going on. Hopefully you can see those. Right. And then right here, this is his muscle. So you can see his little froggy abs right there. Very thin layer of muscle right here on his belly. Right. I'm going to go ahead and keep cutting, and then we'll be able to get to the good stuff. And yeah, I just got some frog fluid on me. He's been sitting in this like liquid in a bucket for a while, so he is full of stuff. It's pretty gross. There we go. My scissors are kind of dull too. And for the final reveal. All right, so here's what everyone came for right here. Stick a few pins in him to hold everything open. And don't forget, guys, the reason I'm doing this video too is there are some questions I want you to answer either while you're watching it or after you watch it on Google Classroom. So take a look at those questions too. I'll have them posted right as soon as this is done. I'm going to ask you to tell me what are some things that are similar to a human body in this, what are some organs and organ systems that we can see, and then just your general reaction to this. I see Alicia's joining us. Nice. Welcome. All right, first things we see. The thing that really stands out to me every time I open this up is the yellow stuff down here. The yellow stuff is not actually an organ, and I'm going to pull some of it out and kind of cut it away. This is actually fat. So you'll hopefully no one's having pasta tonight, because that's kind of what it looks like. This is just fat inside of him. It is very, very noodly like. Right. Pull all that out. All right. Let's just start from the top. Some of the stuff we see here. What's different with a frog versus a human body is some of the things we see right here, kind of right in the front. These are actually his liver. Right, the liver filters stuff in the body. So there's 1, 2, and I believe there's 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so those are the lobes of his liver. I'm going to leave them in place. Right here is his gallbladder. Kind of cool. And then let's take a look in the back, because I usually like going back here. I do not see his lungs. Go ahead and cut some of this stuff away. There's one. Pull the fat out. And it really just does just kind of fall out. All right. In the back here, I'm going to pick it up a little bit so we can see. Right here, these would be his lungs. And I'll show you another frog too. I just did a practice run too. That other one you could see very clearly. So there's his lungs. And you can see these pink kind of lines and stuff like that. That's actually a coloring they put into the frog so they could you could see things better. So that pink is actually was where the blood vessels were. So there's another lung right there. And right next to it, this right here is his heart. So you can see that's full of that pink dye. Hopefully you can see that. I'll zoom in a little bit, hopefully. Right there's his heart, and then that would have pumped blood right to his lungs so it can get some oxygen. Okay. Let's take a look. Another thing back here we see is his stomach, which I really like all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and, this is the stomach right here. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut that out and remove it. Hey, Samai. All right. So there's kind of, if you look, hopefully you can see that. There's a lot of like little tissues holding it together. Yes, I said tissue. So there's his stomach right here. I'm going to go ahead and just cut this off. And what's cool is we can actually open this up and see if he had anything to eat before he died. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a small cut on this. Try not to cut myself. Oh, he did have stuff to eat too, I think. If I open this up, try not to squirt anything in my eye. You can see it's really actually kind of cool the way this looks. So these things right here, these are actually part of the wall of the stomach. You can see these lines. So remember we talked about like having stomach muscle and stuff to churn the food. This in the back, all this goop is actually his food. So I can just kind of scrape at it. You'll see, hopefully you can see I got some of it on my little poker. That's all the food he ate. So he did have stuff to eat in there. That was his stomach. And then going right from his stomach, it was attached to, what was it? I believe it was this guy. This would be his intestines then. See if I can pull them. Now this always kind of amazes me because how much organ is just packed into the body. The intestines are really long. Let's see if I can pull this all the way out. Oops, I kind of broke it. But you can see even on the side cam how long that is compared to the frog. That's at least a foot long, but it was all packed inside of his stomach there. And there we go. And there's a little bit more intestine left there. So that's all the major organs that I see. There is other stuff in here. I'm not sure what this guy is right here. And if I lift it up, this is always kind of cool too. At the very back, hopefully you can see that. There's kind of a white spot. That's actually his spine. So you can see it right through his lung cavity. I'm going to dump that liquid out. Take these pins out for now before I stab myself. And there you go. So you can see his spine right there in the back. Now one thing I like to do is it sounds gross, but I want to open up his mouth because it's kind of cool inside. So I'm just going to pry. It is very kind of hard to open up. All right, so the first thing you can see right here, this is actually his tongue. So, you know, frogs can stick out their tongue and catch things. This is his tongue right here. It's very thick muscle. And in the back of his throat, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but there is a hole down there. That's his throat. And I want to go ahead and just see if I can see where that comes out in his stomach. And it should work out that it should be right in the back. We should be able to see where that comes out here. So you can see I got that little poker sticking out. Can you see that metal kind of shining in the bottom? So that does go all the way through, which is kind of cool. All right, one more thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and show you some of the differences between his muscles. So I'm going to go ahead, and open up his leg. You may know that some people, I'm not one of those people, some people do eat frog legs. They have a lot of meat in them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. They do have a lot of meat. That meat is all the muscle in the leg. This is kind of barbaric to do it like this, but go ahead and slice this off. And I want to go ahead and compare. Look at how thick that muscle is. And you know frogs can jump. They have really powerful legs. So that muscle is very thick. Whereas if you remember at the beginning I said this layer right here, right underneath his skin, is also muscle. Look how thin that is compared to this. So you can see the muscles are going to be different depending on what they're used for. All right. And I want to go ahead, that's everything in there. I wanted to show you the frog I just dissected though too, because that one you could really easily see its veins, and I think that's really cool. So I'm just going to set him to the side. And I did the same thing to this frog. You can see most of the things are the same. There's his heart, his liver again. Now, what I really like about this one is that you can see right from his heart. Let's see if I can get that really well. Nice and pink there where they injected that dye so you can see its veins really well. These right here are his lungs, and these ones look a lot better than those last ones. You can see all the veins surrounding his lungs. And that's because the first stop in the bloodstream is going to the lungs so it can get some oxygen. That's the job of the heart and the lungs, is to move things throughout your body. So that's why those are so packed full of those veins. Also, I like this one too. When I first peeled up his skin, you can see there's veins right on the outside of his skin, like that. That one's really cool. So you can see they surround him. All right. So that was everything. It's kind of weird doing this without people in front of me to ask questions. So if you do have a question, you can type it real quick. But I'm going to go ahead and start signing off. Is there anything else you wanted to see? I wish I had a male and a female here. I think these were both males, so no difference to see there. All right. So that's everything. Remember, I need you to look at Google Classroom. There are 3 questions I need you to answer. One is what is an organ and an organ system that you can see in the body? So take a look right in the middle, all those guts I pulled out. Look at those. Another one was how is this similar to the human body, which a lot of the organs are similar. And if you look at my little model here, I'm going to use my pointer, you can see it has things like a heart, liver, stomach, things that a human body has. So think about that in those questions. And then last thing I want you to comment on is just give me a reaction, something that you liked, something that you thought was kind of gross or nasty. All right, I just want to see what you say. Okay. With that, thanks for watching.